It is time for the first 2021 MLB Power Rankings of 2021, ranking every MLB team for 2021, going from 30 to 1 here. This is probably going to be a weekly series on the channel that will happen every week, where I'll rank every MLB team going off that week. So yeah, this is the first of it. But before I get into this video, 85% of you that watch these videos are not subscribed. Get your life together. Hit that subscribe button, turn notifications, and leave a like. Subscribe, turn notifications, and leave a like. And let's go ahead and get into this video. Ranking every MLB team for 2021. Coming in at number 30, I think this is pretty obvious here. It's the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates are by far the worst team in baseball, in my opinion. They traded Jameson Taillon, Josh Bell. They traded everybody that had any sort of trade value this offseason. That's how bad the Pittsburgh Pirates are now. Some bright spots on their team currently, I think, are Brian Hayes, O'Neal Cruz. Those are some bright spots on their team, but there are not very many bright spots on this Pirates team, if we are being honest. So, yeah, I mean, there's just not a lot of bright spots, but Brian Hayes, I think, will win, Rookie of the Year. But besides that, it's pretty hopeless for Pirates fans right now. Coming in at number 29, I'm going to go with the Texas Rangers. The Rangers are not a very good team. That is no secret. Joey Gallo's on this team. You could expect him to maybe be moved at the trade deadline in 2021. You've also got like Chris Davis, who could be moved at the trade deadline. But the reason why the next team is ahead of them is just because the Rangers pitching. It is so bad. They lost Jose Lyric yesterday, who will be out for quite a while, who is consistently injured. And Kyle Gibson's your best starter. That's just not good at all. You can hope that Sam Huff comes up this year. He played pretty decent in his limited time in 2020. But overall, this Texas Rangers team, I mean, it is not very good. It's just not very good at all. They lost their top prospect. He'll be out 6 to 8 weeks. So that's another loss for the Rangers. That's tough because they're looking towards the future here for the Rangers. That is no question. And I think they need to fire Chris Woodward because he is just not that great of a manager at all, in my opinion. David Dahl, I like that move this offseason. Maybe he could be pretty decent, even though it is a Pitchers Park Globe Life Field. Nick Solak's a player to watch out for on this Rangers team. He's definitely a player that could break out in 2021. But besides that, they need to trade Rougned Odor. Come on. Rougned Odor is so bad, overrated. Kohei Ihara is maybe an interesting signing. He's projected to have the lowest ERA on this staff, if that kind of tells you how not good their staff is. Coming in at number 28, I'm going to go with the Colorado Rockies. The Rockies were a team that they were probably still going to come in the 20 spot with in the 20s with Nolan Arenado, maybe even 15. But this team they're bad. You've got Trevor Story on this team, Charlie Blackmon, Ryan McMahon. Any player with any sort of value, I think, is probably going to be traded. CJ Cron's a player to watch out for on this Rockies team, just for the simple reason that he has a ton of power, and hitting in Coors Field could really help him. Josh Fuentes is another player to watch out for. He's the new third baseman of the Rockies, and he's been really good in the minors. So, yeah, overall, Rockies are not very good. German Marquez is a player that will most likely be traded at the trade deadline. He's the better pitcher, and that's really why I put them ahead of the Rangers, is just for the simple reason that I think that their pitching, or that German Marquez is better than any pitcher on the Rangers. Kyle Freeland's another interesting player that could be traded at the deadline. Daniel Bard in that bullpen was a comeback story in 2020. And yeah, but we all know the Rockies are terrible. 27 is the Orioles. The Orioles have some interesting players in their lineup, and they have started to build a pretty decent lineup here with Ryan Mountcastle, Trey Mancini. You've got Maikel Franco, who they signed this offseason, and Anthony Santana is another player to watch out for. So this Orioles team's a little interesting. John Means is a player that's probably going to be traded at the trade deadline. Overall, not very good. This Orioles team is just not very good at all. Coming in at number 26 is the Detroit Tigers. Now, why they come ahead of the Orioles is just because I like their rotation a lot better, and I think that their bullpen is a lot better with Joe Jimenez and more. But their starting rotation is actually sneaky good with Tariq Skubal, Casey Mize, and it's actually a pretty solid rotation. You brought in Robbie Grossman this offseason. You got your new manager AJ Hinch, which we'll have to see without the trash cans how he does. But yeah, the Tigers are coming in at number 26. Coming in at number 25, I'm going to go with the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks, they had a good season in 2019, but I'm not a big believer in this Diamondbacks team, and that's simply because the pitching's not good, especially the relief pitching. With Joakim Soria as your closer, it's just not a very good bullpen at all. And when your starting rotation, I mean, you paid Madison Bumgarner $20 million, and he is absolutely trash. His velocity is going down. He really is just not a very good pitcher at all anymore. He's surely not worth $20 million. Zach Gallen is injured because of hitting. Yeah, that's why the MLB needs the universal DH there. But yeah, injuries, and then who knows how Ketel Marte will be. He had that breakout 2019, but we haven't really seen much of that since. So yeah, coming in at number 24 is the San Francisco Giants, another team in the NL West here. The Giants, their 2021 is just like it's not going to be very good. Kevin Gausman's a player that you could expect to be traded at the trade deadline, who accepted the qualifying offer this offseason. You've got Mike Yastrzemski in that lineup, great player, but on a bad team. Joey Bart as well. Ramos could come up this upcoming season. Overall, this Giants team has quite a bright future, actually. But right now, it's just not a very good team. Coming in at number 23, I'm going to go with the Kansas City Royals. The Royals have a very good lineup, but their starting pitching is just terrible. And I think it's really going to hurt them in a lot of games. With Brad Keller, Brady Singer in that rotation, I just don't think it's going to do very much good for you. Along with Danny Duffy and Mike Minor, I just don't think that's going to do a lot of good for you. Your bullpen's kind of sneaky good with Greg Holland being your closer there. And your starting lineup is really what's going to be, I mean, it's really good. So you've got Andrew Benintendi, Whit Merrifield, Alberto Mondesi. You've also got Hunter Dozier, who you just extended, Salvador Perez. This overall is a pretty good hitting team, and Bobby Witt Jr. has not even come up yet. So yeah, coming in at number 22 is the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners, I think, are a sneaky team that could be very good in 2021 with Jared Kelenic, Julio Rodriguez, Kyle Lewis all in that lineup. That is a stacked lineup, not even to mention the fact that Taylor Trammell is not even going to be in that outfield. That's how stacked of an outfield they have, along with Kyle Seager there, who is a super underrated player that's actually very good. And then, like, your starting rotation, I think, has a ton of potential with, like, James Paxton, Justin Dunn, Kikuchi. You've got Marco Gonzalez. That is a solid rotation. It's not a great rotation, but it's a solid rotation. When Ken Giles comes back in 2022, that'll make their bullpen even better. And yeah, coming in at number 21, I'm going to go with the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox for 2021, they lost Andrew Benintendi this offseason, which I was not a big fan of the return that they ended up getting back for Andrew Benintendi. Franchi Cordero, I'm not a big fan of. He's just a power hitter that really is going to get injured a ton and is super overrated. Yeah, Chris Sale, I don't know what you can expect from him coming back from Tommy John surgery, if he'll even be ready for opening day, which I doubt he will. Eduardo Rodriguez is a player that, once again, I don't know what to expect from. But Nathan Eovaldi is a player to watch out for on this team, because Nathan Eovaldi was throwing 100 miles per hour in spring training, and that could be really big for the Red Sox there. You've got Bobby Dahlbeck there, who I think is a really good player. Xander Bogaerts, Rafael Devers, you've got JD Martinez, you picked up Hunter Renfroe this offseason. Overall, this is a very good Red Sox team. But because of the pitching, I mean, the bullpen's just so bad. Adam Ottavino is going to be good in the bullpen, but still, it's not very good. 20, I'm going to go with the Miami Marlins. The Marlins are a sneaky team that's very good. Their rotation is very good with Sandy Alcantara, Pablo Lopez, Sixto Sanchez, and your lineup is not great, but it's pretty decent with some power hitters like Jesus Aguilar, Adam Duvall, Corey Dickerson. You've got some players that can hit in there, and maybe you can expect a little bit of a breakout season from Jorge Alfaro. And overall, this Marlins team could surprise quite a few people. That bullpen also is pretty decent with Yimi Garcia, Anthony Bass, John Curtis. I think that's a pretty sneaky bullpen as well. 19, I'm going to go with the Chicago Cubs. I'm not a big fan of the 2021 Chicago Cubs constructed roster. It's just not very good. Their bullpen's not very good. Neither is their starting pitching. I'm just not a big fan of it. Your best pitcher is Kyle Hendricks, and he's very good. But besides that, it is just terrible. And your bullpen, Craig Kimbrell looked absolutely washed in 2020. But I don't know what you can expect from the Cubs. But I'm not expecting very great things going off this ranking. 18, I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Reds. They're just a little better than the Cubs, in my opinion. Nick Castellanos, I think you can expect a breakout season or a comeback season from him. Jesse Winker, Eugenio Suarez, who didn't have a good 2020, but I think is really going to have a great 2021 season. You've got Sonny Gray. You've got Luis Castillo. Like, your starting pitching is still good after losing Trevor Bauer this offseason. You've got T.J. Antone, Tyler Mahle, who both are breakout candidates in 2021. The bullpen's not absolutely great. You've got Amir Garrett, Sean Doolittle. So, yeah. Coming in at number 17, I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies, once again, their bullpen's kind of eh. Jose Alvarado has been pitching really well this spring. You've also got, you've also got in that bullpen Archie Bradley, Hector Neris. So maybe you can expect a little. I do expect a little better from this Phillies bullpen, but do I expect it to be very good at all? No. 16, Los Angeles Angels. The Angels here are a team that just finds themselves right in the middle every year, in my opinion. And that's just because of their starting rotation and bullpen is so bad. Raisel Iglesias was picked up this offseason, which I think is a good move. But still, he can't pitch every time the bullpen is needed. And your starting rotation, Dylan Bundy, foreign substance. He used that, and he became a 3 ERA pitcher still. That tells you how bad of a pitcher he actually is. A foreign substance can't even help him get to a 2 ERA pitcher. You've got Mike Trout, Anthony Rendon, Shohei Ohtani in that lineup. But if your rotation, your bullpen's that bad, you're going to be stuck right in the middle. 15, St. Louis Cardinals. Yes, the Cardinals picked up Nolan Arenado this offseason. But besides that, their bullpen, besides Giovanni Gallegos, or whatever his last name is, I don't even know, is bad. It's not that great at all. Alex Reyes, I don't know what you can expect from him. Jordan Hicks, same thing. Both have had Tommy John surgery like 2 times, it feels like. Your starting rotation is kind of weak, too, because Dakota Hudson and Miles Michaelis are injured for this team. Jack Flaherty is obviously very good, but he can't lead a whole rotation and pitch every day. Coming in at number 14, I'm going to go with the Cleveland baseball team. This Cleveland baseball team is kind of sneaky. Eddie Rosario, they picked up this offseason. Yes, you traded Francisco Lindor this offseason. They're still a better than average team coming in at number 14 on this list. You've got Shane Bieber, who hasn't been pitching too well this spring training. But yeah, 13, Oakland Athletics. This Oakland Athletics team is very sneaky. They surprise me every year. I predicted them to be in 4th place last year. I look very stupid because they finished in 1st place. Matt Olson, Matt Chapman, Raymond Laureano. You've got A.J. Puck, Jesus Luzardo. You've got a really good rotation, and your bullpen's pretty solid too with Trevor Rosenthal, Sergio Romo. This is a very good team, the Oakland A's are. Coming in at number 12, I'm going to go with the Milwaukee Brewers. Yes, that tells you how weak the NL Central is. You win the division, and you don't even come in the top 10 in my list. The Brewers here are a very good team, and I said that they are a sneaky team, and I do believe that. But there's a certain point of sneaky team and actually great team. And I don't think that this Brewers team fits into the great team category, but I think that they fit into the good team category and sneaky team category. With Brendan Woodruff, Corbin Burns in that rotation. In the bullpen, you've got Devin Williams, Josh Hader. And in the lineup, you've got Keston Hiura, Christian Yelich, which are your power bats there, along with some good defensive players that could be solid offensively, and Jackie Bradley Jr., Lorenzo Cain, and more. Coming in at number 11, just missing out on the top 10, I'm going to go with the Toronto Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are an exciting team. That lineup of Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette, you've got George Springer in that lineup, obviously. But Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has been great this spring training, and he's been really good this spring training and much improved. Coming in at number 10 is going to be the Minnesota Twins. The Twins here made a big pickup this offseason, picking up Alex Colme from division rival Chicago White Sox. You've also got Max Kepler, Josh Donaldson. You've got a great lineup there. It's just can the starting pitching even be decent? Because if so, then this Twins team will be a even better team. Jose Barrios, Kenta Maeda, you hope that those players are good. If they're not, then Twins might be in a bit of a rough situation. 9, Washington Nationals. The Nationals here are a team that I think is super underrated. You've got Max Scherzer, Steven Strasburg, Patrick Corbin in that rotation. And, that lineup too, Juan Soto, Trey Turner. Like, they're a very solid team that people are underrating. They definitely, I think, need to be in the top 10, and I was tempted to put them higher. Number 8, I'm going to go with the Houston Astros. The Astros team is kind of sneaky. They just were one game away from making it to the World Series in 2020. And, yeah, you're still improving. You've got Jake Odorizzi and Framber Valdez and Justin Verlander are injured currently. Like, they're at a pretty good spot as a team. The Astros come in at number 8. Maybe you can have Justin Verlander return to the playoffs if you can get there, which I do project them to do. Then, yeah. Number 7, I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays are a team that I think a lot of people are forgetting that they just went to the World Series in 2020. Yes, they lost Blake Snell and Charlie Morton, but this is still a very good team with a ton of rotation depth. And there are so many players that they could put in that rotation. You've got Brett Honeywell, Shane Bass. Those are just some of the prospects there. Along with, they have the best farm system in baseball according to MLB.com. For the Rays here, you've got in that rotation, you've got Ryan Yarbrough, Tyler Glasnow, Chris Archer, Michael Wacha, Colin McHugh. You've got so many players that you can put in that starting rotation. Along with their bullpen's very good. Peter Fairbanks had a breakout 2020. Along with Nick Anderson, Diego Castillo. This is a very good team here. Coming in at number 6, I'm going to go with the New York Yankees. The Yankees are a very good team. Jameson Tye has been very good this spring, along with Garrett Cole, who's always a sure thing for the Yankees. And this is a very good team, not to mention the lineup, DJ LeMahieu, Luke Voigt, Gary Sanchez, who maybe Yankees fans are expecting a bounce-back season from in 2021. You've got DJ LeMahieu. Like I said, you've got Aaron Judge and Carlos Stanton. Those players need to stay healthy, and I think they're a big part of what the Yankees do end up doing in 2021. Coming in at number 5, I'm going to go with the Chicago White Sox. Yes, the team I picked to come out of the AL in the World Series. For the White Sox, too, they're very good. I think that their bullpen's super underrated with Garrett Crochet, Michael Kopech, and Liam Hendricks. And then for your starting rotation, I think it's a very good, solid rotation full of 3 Cy Young caliber pitchers in Lucas Giolito, Lance Lynn, and Dallas Keuchel. And, your lineup's very good, too. Luis Robert, Tim Anderson. You've got Yohan Moncada, who had a down 2020 season. You have got a stacked lineup here and one of the best catchers in baseball, too, in Yasmani Grandal. Coming in at number 4, I'm going to go with the New York Mets here. I think that the Mets are a very good team here. And, yes, there are 2 NL East teams in the top 5. Yes. The Mets here at number 4, I think is a good position for them. Yes, they did lose Carlos Carrasco and Noah Syndergaard, but that's what's so good about this Mets team. They have rotation depth for days. You've got Taekwon Walker, who fills in that Carlos Carrasco position, who's a very solid pitcher, who was kind of breaking out in 2020. If he can stay healthy, then he could be very good for this New York Mets team, along with that lineup of Francisco Lindor, Michael Conforto, Brandon Nimmo. It's a very good lineup there. James McCann, you picked him up this offseason. Along with Francisco Lindor, their big pickup this offseason. The Mets are a very scary team in 2021. Coming in at number 3, I'm going to go with the Atlanta Braves. The Braves, I think a lot of people, once again, are forgetting that they almost made it to the World Series in 2020. And they should have. They choked a 3-1 lead to the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Braves are a very good team. You've got Pache, who has not even come up yet. Same thing with Drew Waters, who's not even come up yet. You've got Max Fried, Ian Anderson, Mike Soroka, Charlie Morton, Drew Smiley in that rotation, along with the bullpen, which is pretty solid with Will Smith, A.J. Minter. It's a pretty solid bullpen there. And you've got Chris Martin, too. As far as your lineup, you've got Freddie Freeman, Ozzie Albies, Ronald Acuna, Dansby Swanson. You've got an absolutely stacked lineup. Now, down to the top 2 teams in Major League Baseball as of right now, in my opinion. Number 2, I'm going to go with the San Diego Padres. The Padres made a ton of moves this offseason. You got Blake Snell, Yu Darvish, made a ton of moves this offseason. And they were already a very good team. And not to mention the fact that Mike Clevenger is on the IL right now. You've got Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado. This is such a good Padres team here. And watch out for the Padres. But coming in at number 1, I'm going to go with the LA Dodgers here. I think the Dodgers are the obvious number 1 team in baseball right now. I don't think that's much of a question with that rotation of 3 Cy Young winners. Trevor Bauer, Walker Buehler, Clayton Kershaw, all 3 Cy Young. If they haven't won a Cy Young already, then in the future. Julio Urias is another really good player. You've got Gavin Lux, who still has yet to break out. And you've got Max Muncy there. You've got Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger. I mean, this is an absolutely stacked Dodgers team, not to mention the fact that they do have Corey Seager at the shortstop position. Absolutely stacked Dodgers team. I think they are the number 1 team in baseball, in my opinion. So yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, because 85% of you that watch these videos are not subscribed. Get your life together, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, leave a like. Thank you for watching, and peace.